Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, motherfuckers, Jace Goes Phantom in this bitch. And right now, man, we want to talk about don't. And ironically, I'm being so aggressive for a video talking about not letting the early situations in our life negatively affect us and things of that nature. So that's kind of already hilarious. It's a hilarious note to start on, but not really. A lot of the times, we may let these early environments, because especially when a child is growing up, a lot of the times these be the early experiences that kind of become the nature or the quality they kind of experience life through. A lot of times it's based upon the environment. A lot of times certain environments may produce certain individuals, but a lot of times it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So therefore, even if a person goes through negative things in their life, they can actually take that pain and actually transmute it. And one story we can point out to that is common in the outer world that we can look at, can't fucking speak, is the story of Batman. Because what did Batman do? Batman took his pain and he turned it into a purpose, right? So that means the deepest pains that we go through, even the negative situations in our lives, we can still take power and control over these things and not let these things hinder us. We can actually use these things as sources of energies, sources of fuel to transform our lives. But see, me saying that is kind of easier said than done because, a person can be experiencing a cycle, a certain quality of life, a certain way of life that they're playing out, just based upon their quality of mind that they may not be maintaining or dealing with, or getting sufficient healthy ways to become just healthier and not allow that early experience kind of point them towards a direction mentally that's negative for them. For example, a lot of times people have believe in things that may be negative for them. Some people may have made low self-esteem or low negative opinions, and these come from these negative energies that a lot of times people be carrying on them and stuff like that, on their mind, on their vessel and stuff like that. And a lot of the times, like I said, these be coming from these early childhood experiences and things like that. And sometimes people may want to sit back and question, well, why did this happen to me and things like that. Well, if I really want to get into it from a spiritual nature, I can just say, well, look, your spirit chose that position because you resonated with something subconsciously. So when you were coming in and out of this world, as far as in and out of with the physical body, coming to this world with a mind, with a body, whatever a person resonated with was that theme that they're playing out right now. Because for the most part, whatever we do as people, whatever we do as spirits in this realm, it's just things that we have always been doing. So people often don't really change, and it take people to go through a lot of experiences to change and things like that. And so the theme, the story that's unfolding right now in a lot of our lives, maybe a story of maybe a story of realizing and repenting and moving away from these things that are not serving us, even though we may have went through these things. The universe, God, may be waiting or looking for us to kind of take power and control over these experiences and not allow these things to be the dominating force in our lives, right? Because what if a negative experience, what if a negative thought, what if a negative feeling was the dominating central force in someone else's mind, right? For the most part, that person will go on to create a lot of negative experiences subconsciously, right? Just because they may not be self-aware enough to actually go within themselves and just process these things. Because a lot of the times, these things are available to us in the form of psychology and things of that nature. Whatever tools are out there available by the education or the system that's out there and things like that. But a lot of the times, these things just be things that are designed to put you in a box. So unless you have discernment, you'd be able to sit back and look at what these things are and from what angle these things are coming from and shit like that, right? But yeah, don't let these things, don't let the programming of the early negative situations run the nature of your reality, right? Because life can be very beautiful if we want it to be, only if we can just kind of clean up the glasses that we're looking and seeing through life through and stuff like that, right? Because there's people that see the glass half full and there's people that see the glass half empty, right? What's the difference between these people? One person is probably obsessed with something being missing in their life, something not being there in their life, and one person is busy being satisfied, being happy, enjoying every moment and every aspect of their life. And so if that's the spirit they are resonating with, then that's the reality that they are creating. And so the observer determines what is observed. That means we are creating our reality consciously, subconsciously. See, a lot of the times though, just based upon those early experiences, it might just throw off a person's trajectory, throw off a person's mind from going towards a direction that can be magical, something that can be beautiful, something that's been never been seen before. Like if a person had a bunch of negative experiences in their early childhood, and they may not necessarily be as strong enough spirit, take power and control over those memories, over that information and stuff like that they've experienced, that they breathed in, then though that experience, that shit might run their life. So at the early childhood, a person may be directed just by the things they experience that are negative and stuff like that towards a direction that is bad. They may have to go through a bunch of experiences, just a bunch of stupid shit just to realize, damn, why the fuck do I keep manifesting the same experience? Just to understand, oh shit, I gotta go within and process these things and heal, so I can actually create room for other things in my life and stuff like that, right? If a person doesn't make room on their mind or on their heart for the other things that they want to, and these chakras are too busy, too occupied, paying attention to old, outdated, negative things. Like if your heart is drowning and it's drowning, it's not a smooth river, then that lets you know internally that there may be a chaotic storm that's causing that individual to kind of like spring off into actions that is not necessarily based upon logic and rationality, because inside of them they may be internally chaotic and too emotional, which is preventing them from being rational. And that's actually the story of most people and stuff like that. A lot of behaviors, a lot of strange behaviors just come from not being logical and irrational. Like not being able to forgive yourself, not having grace, not being able to let go and things like that. Because a lot of the times people are really in this space where they're just sitting against themselves. And what I mean by that is it's just they're going against themselves constantly, going against what they say they want to do, because subconsciously they're resonating with something that's causing them to take an opposite action towards the thing that they claim they actually reacted to, that they want to actually do and be in their life, right? Because a lot of people claim like, okay, I want to be this, but yet they still react to the old, outdated mental programming and take the same actions and behaviors based upon that old, outdated energy. So whatever energy, vibration someone is not dealing with within them, that's always going to become actions and behaviors. So people always got to learn to go within and deal with these programmings, because it's like, man, it's like a program. Man, a program is literally like, man, you talk about that's a program is like putting someone else's thoughts in your mind. A program is like putting someone else's feelings on your mind, which is not actually a bad thing. But when these things are done without understanding, when these things are done without wisdom, it just becomes ignorance. So it just produces a life of ignorance, where it's like, okay, we thought we're knowledgeable, we thought we're wise, we thought we want to get here, but we're not producing the result that we want to, so therefore we miss something. And what a lot of people actually miss is that usually in that early environment, depending on where people are coming from, sometimes people might have just genuinely narcissistic parents that try to control, manipulate, and force a person towards a particular way of life just based upon them believing that that's right. But if that spirit in that body doesn't want to go towards that direction, what ends up happening is that spirit is going to end up rebelling in extreme ways, because it was being put in a space that it did not necessarily want to experience. So let's say, for example, a parent had a business, and this parent was running fraudulent activities and things like that, right? If the parent's trying to force the child to go into that business, the child doesn't want to do it, then there's going to be a fight, right? The relationship is going to be broken. The child may have to learn to, okay, I need to sacrifice this person so I can actually have what I want, or am I going to succumb to them? And the other person is going to have a choice. Okay, do I be a devil and, force myself on this person so I can get what I desire? Or do I respect this person's boundary, respect this child's space, because I understand at the end of the day that they're their own spirit and they're here to experience the reality. I'm just here to kind of hopefully be a guiding force in their life, and not necessarily be a controlling, manipulative person. Because at the end of the day, like, that child's gonna grow up to remember all these things, right? So that's kind of like where wisdom come in and stuff like that, right? And a lot of the times that end up being a negative situation, and that if that child do end up succumbing to that parent, let's say, for example, as an example, right, then that child would have gave its power of faith, belief, and imagination to that parent's mind, and now they've enabled that parent to even a bigger devil and things like that. So when spirits don't take their power back in some way, we kind of subconsciously enable other people to be more powerful than what they appear to be. So it's like in spirits to really just give their power away at the end of the day, right? It's like people have a king, some people have a chief, and none of these things is good or bad. It's just that people like to give away their power to external people, places, and things to some degree, some magnitude. And this is what we all do at the end of the day. And this is just the nature of the universe, right? So yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I want to comment on. You know, I wrote a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to freestyle as well because I'm like, I already synthesized what I've written down. Let me just communicate it because it's already within me. You know what I mean? And that's something that's just in nature as well. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to talk. I think for the most part, like, yeah, I've covered everything, right? So yeah, don't let these early negative programmings run your life because at the end of the day, that's just a trajectory that a lot of the times we be thrown on. Like at the train track, for example, right? We could be traveling down the train track, right? And all of a sudden, there could be a motherfucker down the train track. They switch the track all of a sudden, and we meant to go that way, right? But all of a sudden, a motherfucker force us or manipulate a situation or try to control something so we can go that way. Our job is to kind of just learn to see that ahead of time and not get tricked out and shit like that, right? And it takes intelligence, it takes smart, it takes strategy sometimes. It takes a lot of these things. So, you know, yeah, it's really, really interesting. But yeah, make sure not to let that program run its course because at the end of the day, the more you take power and control over your life, at the end of the day, the more truly you'll enjoy and just have a more beautiful life, right? So the gift of life is something that you have to give to yourself, and the gift of life is truly something that no one else can give to you other than you, because at the end of the day, only you have the power over your life. With that being said, brothers and sisters, have a good day. I'm about to enjoy my day. Peace out, and I'm gonna see y'all motherfucking tomorrow. Peace.